If you've been following my content, you'll know that I've not been particularly optimistic about Stadia. From the moment it was announced, I just felt that something was off about the platform, especially where the business model is concerned. Pay full price for a game that you can only access on the cloud, you cannot download anywhere. And then beyond that, you had the rough launch, which lacked games and promised features, and the platform still lacks many games and promised features. And then there are the technical issues surrounding the fact that cloud gaming is so reliant on internet connection, and so you got input lag and stutters, and if internet goes down, then you can't play on Stadia. And those drawbacks are there for any cloud gaming platform, but the difference is that something like Game Pass actually gives you a good value with a monthly subscription with a price point that makes sense, grants you access to a whole library of games. GeForce Now simply takes advantage of the library of games you already own. Those are great models. Stadia tries to be a replacement to local hardware gaming, not a companion to it, and I think that's a big mistake. And Stadia, as a result of all of this, has struggled. They have not had as many players jump on board as they would have hoped. And the struggle really shows in today's news because it has been officially announced that Stadia will be closing down all of its first-party studios. Recall that back in October of 2019, Jade Raymond, formerly EA and then before that Ubisoft, announced that Stadia would be founding their first in-house studio in Montreal. So it reads right here that they're proud of the creation of Google's very first original game studio in Montreal. Stadia Games and Entertainment Studio will produce exclusive original content across a diverse portfolio of games in all your favorite genres. Stadia is designed to be one destination for all the ways people play games, and Montreal is where we're going to start building them. So the one hope that I had for Stadia was that maybe its first-party exclusives will be good enough to carry the platform, to draw some attention to it. And then just a few months later, on March 4th, 2020, Jade Raymond here announced that they're going to have a new studio in Playa Vista. And so it seemed like Stadia was fully committed to ensuring that Stadia has compelling new content, unique content that will separate the platform from other consoles out there. And so right here they say today we're adding a new Stadia Games and Entertainment Studio in Playa Vista, California, which will be led by an industry veteran, Shannon Studstill. Shannon Studstill, for those who don't know, was the boss of Santa Monica Studio, the folks who made God of War, before she left and joined the Stadia team here as part of this Playa Vista studio. But it would seem as though her game development endeavors at Stadia were short-lived, as it was announced today on February 1st, 2021 by Phil Harrison that they're going to be focusing on Stadia's future as a platform and winding down Stadia Games and Entertainment, which certainly does not inspire confidence in Stadia's future. Given that a platform, for it to really thrive, it needs more than third-party games. It needs some unique content created in-house. Stadia no longer has that. So here's how the statement reads. We launched Stadia with the goal of making your favorite games instantly available wherever you want to play them. With the recent successful launch of Cyberpunk 2077 on Stadia, gameplay on all types of devices including iOS, growing our slate of YouTube integrations and our global expansions, it's clear that Stadia's technology has been proven and works at scale. Having games streamed to any screen is the future of this industry, and will continue to invest in Stadia and its underlying platform to provide the best cloud gaming experience for our partners and the gaming community. This has been the vision of Stadia since the beginning. I don't think Stadia ever planned on shutting down all of its first-party studios and transitioning to this more third-party focused kind of model and roadmap. In 2021, we're expanding our efforts to help game developers and publishers take advantage of our platform technology and deliver games directly to their players. We see an important opportunity to work with partners seeking a gaming solution, all built on Stadia's advanced technical infrastructure and platform tools. We believe this is the best path to building Stadia into a long-term, sustainable business that helps grow the industry. So that's the big issue with Stadia right now, is it's sustainable enough given that it hasn't quite accrued the kind of player base that PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Nintendo have. They still have a long way to go to garner any semblance of significant interest in the platform. Right now, we're dealing with sort of a niche group of people who are engaging with it. And, there's a big part of why they're probably shutting down these studios. They haven't made enough money off of Stadia for them to be able to justify the continued development of these expensive AAA games that would only launch on Stadia. Creating best-in-class games from the ground up takes many years and significant investment, and the cost is going up exponentially. Given our focus on building on the proven technology of Stadia as well as deepening our business partnerships, we have decided that we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team, Stadia Games and Entertainment, beyond any near-term planned games. And here's confirmation that Jade Raymond has in fact left Stadia now. With the increased focus on using our technology platform for industry partners, Jade Raymond has decided to leave Google to pursue other opportunities. We greatly appreciate Jade's contribution to Stadia and wish her the best of luck in her future endeavors. Over the coming months, most of the SG&E team will be moving on to new roles. We are committed to working with this talented team to find new roles and support them. I really feel bad for the developers here who were dragged into this endeavor to create compelling new content for Stadia, only for their endeavors to be killed off before they've really had a chance to take off. The blog post finally concludes with, what does this mean if you're a current or future Stadia gamer? You can continue playing all your games on Stadia and Stadia Pro, and will continue to bring new titles from third parties to the platform. We're committed to the future of cloud gaming and will continue to do our part to drive this industry forward. Our goal remains focused on creating the best possible platform for gamers and technology for our partners, bringing these experiences to life for people everywhere. So now Stadia just really has zero advantage over services like Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, and its xCloud integration, and GeForce Now. Game Pass actually has exclusives. All of the Xbox games that are first-party releases are coming to Game Pass. You can also choose to buy them separately, physically or digitally, and it's a great business model that gives you a number of options. And for people who just can't afford to buy a game every few, days or weeks, Game Pass is a great solution. I legit don't know what Stadia has going for it anymore. The last thing that I was hoping for was that at least its first-party games would be pretty compelling, and now we're learning they're only dealing in third-party games. Why would I choose to play my third-party games on Stadia versus other cloud gaming services like GeForce Now that are plain and simply better and is an integration with local hardware gaming and not a separation? Why would I choose Stadia over Game Pass, which for a relatively low price point, I'm able to get access to hundreds of games? Stadia just makes less and less sense the more it goes on, and them not giving these first-party titles a chance, that to me gives off the sense that there's just a lack of commitment for the platform. And if they're giving up on platform first-party exclusive titles so early, to me, that might as well be a sign that they're giving up on the platform. It reminds me of Vita, when the launch of that console and its subsequent sales didn't meet expectations. Sony just backed off and let third parties do all the work, and they stopped releasing first-party games and stopped supporting the platform, and it died off. Whereas, with 3DS, that console struggled at the start, but Nintendo kept and kept and kept supporting the console with first-party releases. Eventually, sales did pick up. Wii U is a different story, but we don't talk about Wii U. But the fact of the matter is that it feels like Stadia hasn't had a chance to really kick off, and Google botched the launch, but they could make a recovery with compelling exclusive releases, but now it doesn't even have that. So what is there to look forward to as far as Stadia goes, when there are superior cloud gaming services with better business models, or when your money, your $60, $70, whatever the price of the game is better spent on either buying the physical disc or buying a game digitally to download locally? I don't understand Google's thought process here, but this falls in line with Google's trend of killing off products before they've really had a chance to take off. And you can go to that, Google graveyard website. The website is called Killed by Google, for those who don't know. And you can just scroll and scroll and scroll, and it feels like Stadia is on its way to joining this list here. At the very least, the Stadia first-party studios that were shut down, they're now part of this list. And I'm wondering, is Stadia next? If they cannot commit to their first-party studios for more than a year before shutting them down, how am I supposed to feel confident that Google will commit to Stadia? And keep in mind that because Stadia is fully cloud-based, if the platform were to go down, what'll happen to all your purchases? The future of Stadia was already in question, but even more so now that Stadia is not going to get unique content. And the pessimism surrounding this news is reflected in the Stadia subreddit. So looking at the responses here to this headline that Stadia is winding down their first-party production, you can see people saying things like, as a founder, not exactly confident, let alone this is one of the rare occasions we see communication from Phil Harrison. Plus Jade Raymond leaving, wondering what's going to happen to other top profiles hired recently, like the God of War lady. Here's somebody else spotlighting a tweet by IGN's executive editor Stan Stapleton, who tweeted, "It's a damn shame we'll never see the only possible in the cloud game concepts that might have made Stadia exciting to people who already plan to buy a game, consoles, and PCs." Which to me kind of hits home about what this means for the platform. Third-party games will never leverage the full power of the cloud that Google touted. Indeed, and a lot of these third-party studios have very little incentive to make games only on Stadia because, well, the platform just hasn't taken off, and they'd be missing out on all of those sales that they could get if they also released the game on Switch, PlayStation 5, or Xbox Series X, or even the last-gen consoles, which still have a player base in the hundreds of millions. Stadia right now is simply too niche, and Google had the opportunity to expand Stadia to the masses with compelling content only possible on Stadia. Without that, I don't know what you have anymore. But that's just one man's take on this whole situation. To me, Stadia always seemed like a dying platform, and it certainly especially looks like it now. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are about this transition that they've made to focus more on hosting third-party games. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.